using Google Finance or Yahoo Finance or one of the many other websites to track your portfolio. I like to do it in Google Sheets where I have total control over the portfolio and I can build any calculations I want, make any charts I want, and combine multiple portfolios if I want. So I want to show you how I do this. It's kind of taken time to learn the formulas to do this, and it can get more complicated when you want to pull an array of data, but you only want one column. For instance, when you pull historic data, Google Sheets pulls the name, day as a column, name, value, and the date and the value for sort of different cells, and in a follow-up video I'll show you how you can just grab one of those 4 bits. So this is an example of what you could do in Google Sheets with what I'm going to talk about. All the colors except for the lime green are auto-generated. So the lime green is the cells I type in, and then everything else, all the values, all the numbers, are calculations or conditional formatting. So I'm just going to talk about what's in the black box first in this video, except for the 2 right-hand columns with the black arrow. This is where you have an array of data, and I'll show you how to pull that value from the array in a follow-up video. I'll also later show you how you can build a sort of future or target price type portfolio where you could have a list of stocks and color code whether the stock is above or below your targets. You can build a screen and really quickly, instantly just look for any colors that are a key that maybe you want to consider an investment in that stock. You've been waiting for, Apple to fall under a certain price, and this can just give you that visual. So popping into Google Sheets, I've pre-populated the headings that I want to build formulas for. I made up a few stocks in the spreadsheet. For American stocks, you can just punch in the ticker. For Canadian stocks, you have to put in TSE for Toronto Stock Exchange, and then a colon, and then the ticker if you want to grab Canadian stocks. Now that's just for the main board. There's different front 3 letters if it's on the Venture Exchange or other Canadian exchanges. So the yellow I've highlighted, and this is a cue to me or it could be a cue to you. If you do this to these are the columns you're allowed to type in. On the right hand side, I've got some but not all of the Google Finance sort of codes you can use for current data and historic data. So starting with, I want to grab open price for the day, and then the price, and then some changes, and then we'll do, what's the dollar amount change for the day in your whole portfolio. So to pull data from Google Finance, you have to first tell the spreadsheet you want to do a calculation or a formula. So hit equals or plus would also work. If you start typing in Google, you'll see all the Google options, and I want Google Finance. I don't want to translate text. Google Finance is the first option, so I don't have to complete typing. I'm just going to hit enter. We've got the Google Finance command put in. I got an open bracket, and we need to start in Google Finance by saying what ticker. Okay. Now I don't want to type in the ticker because then I can't repeat formulas. I want to have this D4 cell grab the ticker for this row, and the ticker is in B4. So I can type in B4, that will grab the ticker. I put a column and then say what I want to grab, or what stock parameter I want. This you have to put in quotes, and I'm going to do the open price, which you have to put in price open, no spaces, close your quote, close your bracket, and you're good. Hit enter, or tab will move you over. So it's grabbed that open price for today. Next, I want to grab the current price. It would be the price at the end of the day if you're after hours, or if it's in the middle of the day, you get the price either current or delayed, depending on the exchange. So equal, start typing Google. I get that Google Finance. Just hit enter. We have our bracket. I want B4 again, comma, quote, and I want price. End my quotes, close my bracket. I've got the final price. So I'll do a few other Google Finance data pulls, equal Google Finance, B4, comma, and I'm going to do the change for the day. So I'm in sort of current potential codes I can use. So this is just change. Don't forget your quotes. You don't actually have to close your bracket. Google, the formulas will close brackets automatically. So I'm just going to hit tab. Just going to get rid of, I've pre-put in some colors, so I'm just going to get rid of those and show you how to make them shortly. Change percent equal, oh, I didn't put it in Google Finance, B4, comma, quote, and I want change percentage, so change PCT, close my quotes, and I'm going to tab over. Day dollar change. So this isn't going to be a Google Finance formula. It's going to be us doing math. So equal, I want to take what the change is per share. So that's down 6 cents times how many shares. So this imaginary portfolio is 25 and hit enter. So you're down $1.50. The change percent, this for me is relative to the whole portfolio. I can't do yet because I don't have a total of the whole portfolio. So I'm going to skip that cell. What is the value of this stock in the portfolio? What would be the shares I have, C4, and I clicked in the cell instead of typing it, times, and what is the value of each share, not for the day, but the total. So that's 26.86, so that's E4, and that's it. Last, the total of the percentage. I can't do that yet because I don't have the whole portfolio added up yet. Now, if I grab any of these and pull down, the sheet will go from B4 to B5 to B6. That's why I put the code in. But if I do that, I get all the data, and then I get all these blanks, sort of errors, and that will cause problems when you go to add things up. So I want to get rid of this error. So I want to do that with an if statement. If, and I have to open a bracket. Now I'm going to have to do a logic statement, and then I do a true, what happens if it's true, comma, what happens if it's false. So 3 pieces separated by columns. So I'm going to go look at C4, hit equals, and I want to check if C4 is blank or not. So I'm going to go C4 equals blanks would be whatever's between quotes. So I put in 2 quotes and nothing in between them, which is a blank. So if C4 contains nothing, comma, my true statement. So if C4 is blank, I want it to stay blank. So I just put in 2 quotes, nothing in between them. Put in another comma, and then I've got the false logic statement. And if it's false, if it's not blank, I want that Google Finance command. Okay. Now I should put in another bracket to close my if statement, but Google Finance or the Google Sheets will do it automatically. So there's my if statement with my bracket added in automatically, and I want to fill this down. Good, and that cleared up all those not applicable. So in this cell, if B13 is blank, this will be blank, and then that's what I got. So I want to copy that if statement across, and I'm going to do some copying and pasting. I'm going to grab the if statement right up to this comma, copy that, tab over, and I'm going to quickly paste this into each of my cells, not bothering with the closing bracket. That'll be put in for me. Hit tab, paste it in, hit tab, paste it in, paste it in, hit tab. I got a blank cell. I got one more cell to put it in, and now I'm all set. All of those start with the if statement. I can fill things down, and I got all my data and all these blanks, and they'll automatically fill in. You know, you go and buy, let's see, what do I own? Facebook, you buy 10 shares, and it's going to auto put in the data. For some reason, I always find the open price for Facebook causes errors. Every now and then, Google Finance just won't pull the data, and you'll get errors. The non-applicable will show up. If you wait, they pretty much always fix themselves over time. So now let's do some totals. Let's see how we're doing for the whole day. So I'm just going to put that in this cell. I'll put a heading over here. Daily total. I'm not always putting these in the best places. I'm sort of putting them where it's nice visually for recording. You may want to put them above, below, to the side of your sheet. So I want to sum up that total, so equal. Now Google Sheets is guessing what I want to do. I want to add stuff up, so I want to do a sum. No, I actually don't want to grab that $sign in H3. I want to start, so bracket, I want to go to H4. Colon, and I want to go down to H right above where I'm typing, which is 26. Close my bracket, and that's the total change for the day in this portfolio. I want to add up the value. I've got a column for cash, so maybe this portfolio has $10,000 sitting in cash. If you want to have multiple portfolios all tracked together, you could have multiple columns. So maybe you go cash RRSP, cash TFSA, or cash RSP Canadian, cash RSP US if you can hold US dollars. You can expand that if needed. And now in my total value, I can sum up the stocks and the cash. So that's J4 to J24. Nope, 25. So it's nice if you punch in a wrong cell, it color codes it, J24, 4 to J24, and I can see I'm missing the cash, so I can quickly fix that. Okay. I'm going to do the percentages slowly, but I really like the color coding part. So that's under conditional formatting or rules. So I want to color code the daily change dollar and percentage amount green and red, so I can see what's up and down really quickly. It's really hard without the colors. So I grabbed F and G, format, conditional formatting, and I want to take anything in those cells and format cell if it's made me money, so greater than 0 would make me money, and I want that a nice dark green. Okay, so that rule is done. Now I want to make another rule for down. So if any cell is less than 0, I want to make that a red. Okay. I didn't do any equal then, so if I have something that was bang on 0 change, it wouldn't get color coded. So that's quickly lets you see what's up and what's down. You can always color code this column if you want. It's sort of personal preference how much color you want. So now let's do some percentages and we'll be just about done. So what's the percentage? How much is this stock affecting my whole portfolio? So I want to look at a ratio of the daily dollar change versus my portfolio. So equal H4 compared to or divided by the whole portfolio, which is J26. And then I'm going to want to fill this down. Now if I try to fill this down, J26 will go to 27, will go to 28. So dollar signs before letters and numbers will lock that cell. So this will take the H column and keep changing it by 1 as I go down, but lock the J26. Now this has a dollar sign. I want this as a percentage. So I highlighted the column, went to percent. Okay. And you've got decimal points options here. So maybe you just want 1 decimal place. Okay. So I want to fill this down. Good, and I keep getting these zeros. I'm not getting an error, but I'm getting a 0. Now I like to have these if statements. Oh, I still have that copied, so I'll paste in my if statement so I can just get blanks if I don't own shares of anything. Last, percentage of the whole portfolio, pretty similar code. What's the value divided by the total? So that was that J26. And I'm putting dollar signs around the 26 to lock that cell. Okay. I always like to make sure your command works, then put in any extra code. So then I'll put in the if statement after I know it works. And I can fill that all the way down. Now this is a decimal. I have to format that as a percent. I don't want 2 decimal places. 1 is more than enough. And I'm all set. Now I like to know the percentage is cash, but this cell is a if statement. So I'm just going to get rid of that if statement because there's no shares with cash. And boom, I can see, so this imaginary portfolio is fairly cash heavy. Last thing, I like to sort and have the highest value on top. So I can grab, highlight all my stock symbols and all the data, and I like to grab the headings and they'll be part of my sort. So data, sort range, I want to do an advanced where I can pick what I sort by. I highlighted the data headings or the row headings, so I want to check that. And now it switches from A, B, C, D to those headings, and I want to grab value. So that's going to be this J column. And I want to sort not smallest to biggest, but biggest to smallest. Okay? Don't highlight blank data because that will be viewed as zeros and can mess up your sorting. Boom, so now things are sorted highest to lowest. I do like to color code my positions. I want to sort of know what's above a certain threshold. Now you can have multiple colors if you want to get creative, but I'm just going to see what is above 5%. What are sort of my larger positions? So data, conditional formatting, if anything is greater than, I want 5%, but we've entered these numbers as ratios. So 5% is a decimal, I have to divide by 100, so that's 0.05 would be 5%. And maybe I'll make that a green or color. Done. Okay. And now most of these are above 5%. Okay. You add a new stock, everything including the colors will get updated. You go and buy maybe Facebook or Meta, you buy, you buy 150 shares. Okay? You put that in and it automatically updates everything for you. I've been finding lately Facebook, I've been having issues with the open price, but that doesn't affect the other calculations. This is now 47% of your portfolio. It's updated all these percentages. A bunch of them are now below 5%. Those colors changed. Facebook, I guess, happened to come out bang at 0, so we got no color code, total portfolio, percentage cash, instantly updated. So I find this quite handy. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, consider liking and subscribing, and in a future video I'll go through the array data to grab past data to get year-to-date returns and how you could build a potential buy list portfolio that will be color-coded if it hits your buy target.